Hello everybody, Roscoe here. Today I'm playing Victoria 3 and I have a little idea today. We're going to be playing as Observe something, Giga Chads. I don't know. We're going to be Observe people and I'm going to fix Victoria 3. The AI is... I don't want to say a bad word. The AI is dumb. The AI is goofy. So we're going to fix them because they're dumb and they need my assistance. So we're going to fix them, and we're going to make them smart. We're going to form Germany, we're going to form Italy, and we're going to do a little bit extra because, you know, pretty much whatever. Now, one thing about this challenge, go ahead and get into it, nothing is off limits. I can take land, I can fast research, I can fast build, I can get rid of treaties that I don't particularly like. Now, for this to actually work the way I want it to, we are going to have to come over here to game rules, and we are going to have to turn this to lenient and low. As you can see, I've already done it, because I was already doing some tests on this. So, you're definitely going to want to turn this down, because otherwise Britain in particular will just ruin everything. So, alright, let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, I'm totally not doing this challenge because I'm lazy, and I don't want to do any of those crazy challenges. Anyway, I also got some ramen, and I got me a little drink right now. Pretty good. That's good. I'm eating some spicy ramen. Gotta say, I'm starting to get addicted to this stuff. I'll probably die from it though. Can you say delicioso? Anyway, one of my favorite things to do at the start for these observed things, you know, like I said, I've done a few tests already. Come over here. Observe. Alright, you know, we got Wallachia. I don't know why the AI never does this, because it's so easy. Probably because that's why. Bam, bam, bam. Give it a little time. Cool. Go here. And this works just for the normal games too, by the way. This is like easy. We're going to say no to everything, and we're going to say independence, yes, and we're going to say conquer, conquer, yes, add, and then just let time go by and we'll call it a day. Now you might say, why have I not added Serbia? Well, there's a reason for that. And by the way, we're also going to want to grab here, grab railways, go here, 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 here. Doon, and nationalism, because why not? And I'm not going to bother with the military. Actually, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm a Romania lover. Here, I'll spoil them a little bit. I believe in you, Romania. So now we're gonna want to turn on fast and act, which I turned off accidentally. We're gonna come here. We're gonna ban that. We're gonna go here. We're gonna turn that on. We're gonna go here. Turn this on. And by the way, you do want to do this one if you're changing the laws too, because if you don't, the AI will just pick this one every time. So we're gonna throw it on homesteading. Amazing. And then I usually like to put on laissez-faire, but if you don't like that, you know, let's say you're not a fan, you can put it on interventionism. I'm gonna put it on laissez-faire because I want a strong Romania. Also, the AI will probably switch off of it eventually anyway. So just get all these lovely laws changed. We're gonna throw it on national supremacy, throw on National Guard, and win, bam, bam, blam. Just like that, we have an amazing set of laws for Romania. Yep, sure. Give it a little bit of time. And look at that, we got a national awakening. We'll go here because the AI is dumb and hasn't done this yet. So we'll set that up. For no memento. And voila, say yes. Go here, go there, go here. And yay, Romania's free. And then now we have the last one, which is this right here. We'll say add relations for 200. And then this one is where it gets tricky. I don't know why, but Paradox counts Turkey, even though they're obviously your enemy. You have to have good relations with them, too. So you have to make sure that they're at, like, 0, at least. And then also, Austria is a big one. Prussia would be a next one, and then, like, France would be another one. And then there we go. Britain's not usually over here, but, you know, sometimes you gotta be careful. So, Southwest Arabia for there. And then we'll go here, and we'll say, yay, from Romania. Voila. Alright. Just like that, you have Romania. It's only 1836. This kind of also just works for normal. Like, when you're just playing normally. The only difference is it takes, like, way more time. Because you actually have to sit there and do this. Whereas in this, you don't have to. Also, I think this treaty with Russia sucks. So, we're just gonna... We're gonna get rid of that. And we're going to say yes. And then we're going to say hooray. There we go. So now we're not getting power block influence anymore, which is nice for Romania. Because we want them to be independent, which they inevitably will not be. And then we're going to come over here, and I'm just going to give them a huge starting boost. We're going to give them all the things they could ever dream of. And we're going to build some railways. We're going to throw down some trade centers. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to say, hey, give me some ships. Easy peasy. Go here. Grab these. Ugh. Goodness. Anyway. Let's see what else. Grab a few more. Fast build. Alright. And then let a little time pass. Go here. Make sure these states get incorporated. And then there you go. And if you really want to spoil Romania, like let's say you're just really into spoiling Romania, you can come over here and say, yes, man. Come here. And then you can take Bessarabia. The whole thing. And then just like that, you have Bessarabia. I'm going to be honest, I usually do just because Russia's never going to do anything with it anyway. They might build a little bit of industry here, but not usually. Romania is way more likely to actually use it for something, so, you know. That's what I prefer. And then after that, you can just let the AI do whatever it wants. It does need a little bit more of this, but it'll fix that on its own. So, there we go. At the start, we've already accomplished our main goal, which was getting a big, fat, and beautiful Romania. Alright, sorry, I was partaking in my ramen noodles. Next, we're going to come over here to Sardinia Piedmont. Fast research one more time. Go here, and pretty much the same thing. I pretty much do the same thing always, is just grab railways, go over here, grab nationalism, usually the first part's these, and then also like this. Especially if the country's going to be a major power like Italy, but like they usually are always so behind. Give it a little bit of time. Italy must be restored, annex, and then literally just do this. And this works for pretty much any of them. And you still get the Treaty of Turin, no matter what. The only difference is for the little ones right here, you end up in Austria's power block, so you kind of have to drop relations with Austria first. So, go over here, form Italy. Something, by the way, something I always thought would be fun about doing this, after you're done, like, setting up your world, you know, like, say, like, you're sandboxing your own little world, as long as you do it before, like, I would say 1840, you could just go tag over to whatever country you actually want to play. So, like, if you want more of a challenge or more diversity, like, let's say, I don't know, I want to play Argentina. Yeah, I want a little bit of diversity in Europe. So, I set up in Italy, I get Germany fixed up, Romania, so I get a little bit more going over here, maybe set up a little things over here, just to get a little bit more going on. I could just go over here to Argentina, set up over there, hang out for the rest of the game. As long as you don't care about achievements, because obviously this does not work with achievements. But I really don't care about achievements that much. I can always get them later. So, do that, do this. And by the way, the reason you want to trade with Austria instead of just taking it is because if you do force nationalization to give Italy their industry back, it won't work for these two guys. Because you technically took them. You didn't already have them. I don't know why it's set up like that, but yeah. So we're going to do a force nationalize. And then while that's going, we're going to come over here to do a fast knack. Come over here. Get off that. Get off of that. We're going to do this because we don't need it on that. Go here. Grab this. And then you're pretty much just repeating this constantly. Pretty much. And then voila. Just like that. And then Italy's usually good enough that I don't need to put them on laissez-faire. Okay, that happened. So, anyway, fix that. Change that. Change this. Okay. Good job, AI. What a genius. Thank you for taxing sugar. What a smart person. So, anyway. By the way, none of Italy is incorporated. Come here, go to here, move your capital to Rome. Also, that only moves your actual capital, not your market capital, but we're in a Diplo place, so we have to wait. Just give it a second. We have to just sit here and wait. I guess if you wanted to, you could go observe and then just like go to Austria and then just back down. I don't do that because the way my game works, for me at least, I have a tendency of crashing a lot. So if I ever go observe mode just randomly sometimes, I could literally just explode. It could just crash my PC instantly. So I don't do that. I don't do that. So anyway, go to your change capital. Bam. With that decision, but it doesn't change your market capital. So bam. There we go. And if you want to give Italy a boost, build them some railways. You know, spoil them a little bit. We'll build them some railways. We'll set up Rome for them. Here, we'll give them all the wood they could ever dream of. And then bam, just like that. That's a good setup for the AI. And it's amazing because Italy will still be like the worst great power. Almost like real life. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway. There we go. So Italy's set up, and then if you're worried about like industry, you can come over here and throw that on there. And here, we can give them a little bit of extra tools. Give a little bit of time. Bam. Alright, Italy's good to go. I'm not worried about them. Actually, I am worried about them. And then they'll delete, if it's too much, they'll delete it on their own. And then here, we'll, yes, money. Give them a little bit of boost money-wise. And then voila, look at that. Already Europe is way different because we actually have an Italy, which never forms in this game. And if it does, it's like 1880 and the game's already over. Alright, the next country we're going to go on to, we're going to go to Denmark. And I'm not actually strengthening Denmark, I'm just letting this go. Because there's no reason for them to have it. So we're going to let a little more time go by, and then we're going to also go ahead and just tag over to Russia. We're not actually going to do much for Russia. We're literally just going to go on tenant farmers, add religious schools, and then this one you can pick. I usually just do interventionism, but agrarianism is also good too. And then change that. And then if you really want to, you can come over here and change this. I don't like doing that because it puts their thing in such a large deficit. And then, you know, all's well that ends well. Leave Russia. I don't know why, but even in base game, Russia almost never changes any of this. And if they just got at least religious schools, they would become so much better. So, a little more time go by. Come over here to Sweden. And then we're just going to do another annex. And we're going to do Finland and Denmark. And then, by the way, since recent, you know, updates, I say recent because it feels recent, but it's not. Come over to your nation formation. You don't need pan-nationalism to form Scandinavia anymore. And then, by the way, you can't let the AI take this decision because if you do, they'll never pick the one that includes Finland as like an official, like a primary religion. So you have to take it yourself or the AI just won't do it. And by the way, this is another case of you actually have to incorporate your territory. Luckily, it's not much, so, yeah. Let a little time go by, incorporate fast and that. Denmark has colonies, Sweden doesn't, so you gotta turn on colonial. Pick whichever one, I'm gonna pick the default. Bam, bam, and then you can change this. I don't, because it has, right here, it has the Prussian education modifier, which I think is pretty decent for, Scandinavia. And so, bam, there we go. And just like that, we have more of Europe built up and nice and strong. I think my favorite part about this is always going to be there's more players that are not just like great powers only. Like Romania is a pretty interesting Balkan power, you know, down here. A little bit of a better than like just, you know, this guy right here, you know, just doing nothing. Freaking Scandinavia at the start is usually a great power, but they usually tick down to just a major power. I mean, it's just kind of nice to have other players in the region, especially when the best you get other than them by default is like Spain. So, which is having a wonderful time, and I'm not even going to bother with that. Next thing we're going to do is come over here to Serbia, because you can't leave them alone for too long, or otherwise you won't be able to do it quickly. So, come over here, and we're going to do the exact same thing we did with Romania, and we're just going to say, yay, independence. But before that, we're going to do some fast research. Come over here. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam. Military. Yes, 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 yes. Terrific. Come over here. Bam, bam, bam. And bam, bam. Make sure you always grab this because you need the maneuvers. And then there we go. We can just leave it like that. Go over here. Independence. Yes. Bam. And then we're going to grab Bosnia. And we're just going to, yeah, we're just going to grab all of this. Yummy. I got to find it. This one. Is that it? Am I missing anything? Oh, yeah, this one right here. Okay. All right, and then that should be it. You don't need the rest of this at all. If you wanted to, though, I guess you could say, hey, you know what? Let my homie go. But I don't have enough maneuvers. I'm missing, like, one too many. So, be aware that Serbia's infamy is, like, crazy high. Come over here. Yes, ma'am. And then you get this event. Easy. By the way, you can trade with puppets. I don't know why. So you can just trade for, I don't even know what that is. And then, yep, you can also just come over here. Austria doesn't like you. Yes, they do. But minus. I didn't know it was that low. There we go. Say Dalmatia. This one. Oh yeah, also, I forgot about this. You actually do need pan-nationalism for Yugoslavia. Forgot about that. So, then you can just come over here, conquer. Sure. Go here. Go here. Bam. Yep. Now Serbia's infamy is like insanely high, so just be aware of that. If you want to make things a little better, here, we'll give good relations to Britain, Russia, and then Italy's kind of close. So we'll give good relations to them to make sure that Serbia doesn't get instantly annihilated. And then it'll tick down naturally on its own. And then give it a little time. And, the Austrian army approaches, and then they are met with yes, man. And just like that, bam, 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 bam. The future is now. And then there we go. We have a nice little Balkan power. Land that would almost never actually get used, and if it does get used, it wouldn't be used properly. And then here, if you want to set the AI up, bam, 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 bam. They're taxing everything right now, so we're going to change some of that. And then Serbia's laws do, in fact, shuck for the most part. Well, no, they actually changed quite a little bit on their own. Yep, do a professional army. Over here, public schools. Alright, all's well that ends well. I don't know if I like that. We're going to switch to laissez-faire instead. And then, yep, there we go. I actually probably should give a boost to Serbia, industry-wise, so I'm gonna build them up a little bit. Alright, so I've set Yugoslavia up a little bit, and I have increased relations, obviously. So, now they should be alright, and they should be chilling, so look at that. Already, the Balkans are a much more interesting place to deal with, as well as the fact that now we'll get a little bit more chaos going on in general. So, now, I will admit, most of this, the way that I do it, obviously you can do yours the own way you want, most of mine negatively affects Austria. Like, mostly. Like, 90% it affects Austria negatively. But, I don't care. So, and the Ottomans, too. So, the next thing I would do is I would probably wait for Germany to get set up. But, obviously, it's going to take a moment. So, if you wanted to, you could come over here to the Netherlands. Their truce with Belgium is going to run out eventually, and we could take the rest of Belgium. But we'll do that later. I got some other things I got to do first. I'm actually going to set up my favorite country, Anime Land. And the way we're going to do this is the same way I did it in my actual videos. We're just going to come over here and set some interest in America. Give it a moment. Uno momento. We're going to say, humiliate your, we're going to say open market. Give it a moment. We're going to back down. And then the opening of Japan. Okay. So, you know the drill. do fast research, and then change the laws. Alright guys, so I'm setting Japan up for the most part, but the one thing that you gotta worry about with these guys, even when you start setting them up, you know, I've done all their laws and all that, you know, I've set them up with what I think would be okay. But one thing about Japan is that even if you were to set them up good, there's a chance they'll fail this because they'll just randomly say, oh, well, these guys aren't doing as good, so let's bring these guys over. But then they'll randomly swap these guys back in, and then that'll fail the journal entry. So you actually do kind of have to babysit Japan a little bit, or at the very least, you got to let them get built up enough, like a ton. You got to let them get built up a ton before you leave them. So, fair warning. Alright guys, so I've started the honorable restoration. I'm still building up Japan, because once again, if you leave them, they'll explode immediately. So, I'm probably going to babysit them until at least 1842, but other than that, I'll be back. Alright guys, so it's about 1842 November. I went ahead and got Japan recognized because the AI is going to send them a lot of crappy treaties and stuff if you don't, and I think it works out better when you do set them up. Sorry, this ramen noodle is amazing. Anyway, but also, I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about leaving them with this journal entry. Because I think they'll fail it. I truly think they will fail it. I think that they won't keep these guys out. Which is why I'm still over here and still trying to build them up. Because I'm doing my absolute best to keep these ding-dongs out. But give me a little bit more. I'm going to go till about 1843 June. And I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm officially back. I've set Japan up. They're about halfway through. And I've checked. I don't think they'll bring these guys back in. I think they are weak enough in power that Japan will be okay. And I think the intelligentsia and the industrialist have gained enough that Japan will be fine on its own. I spent a little bit too much time on them, but if you don't do this early, it'll be way more annoying to do it later. So, they should be fine. I'm going to leave them alone. They are, you know, they are a great power. I think they'll be okay. And I also added National Guard because it gives a little 5% boost for the petite bourgeoisie, which should help keep the, you know, whatever out. And so the AI should follow this, hopefully. And everything should be okay. So we're going to go ahead and just leave them. I babysitted them long enough. What is going on over here? Okay. Alright, you know what? We're going to go ahead and form a fat little Netherlands. So, that will cause us a little bit of infamy, but it's okay, because I can let a little time go by, give it a moment, and come over here, and say, give in. Boom, just like that. Let some time go by, and voila, we have a united Netherlands, nice and strong. And then, by the way, save your game, if you want to, at some points, because your game may crash. Mine does. And then, yeah, we're clearly in the, revolt time, yeah, 1848 and all that. Anyway, so yeah, there is a lot of little minor things I could be doing, a lot of setups I could be messing with, but I'm just gonna kind of let the AI play for a little bit. Maybe stop some of this. Maybe. All right, so Europe is still exploding. Poor Italy. Anyway, Germany's got this thing right here, but I gotta let these revolts pass real quick. This is what I was talking about, by the way. My game just crashed. This is why you save your game. Even in observe mode, your game will crash. So, anyway, I'll be back again, I guess. Alright, guys. So, most of the revolts are done for the most part, kinda. So, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. Are they still in their thing? Yes, they are. So, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to pull out. We're just going to immediately pull out of it. We're going to ignore it. It doesn't matter. I don't know what this is. We're going to pull out of this too. So, we're going to do that. We're going to add like negative relations with Austria just to make sure that it doesn't come back. And you know what? Here, we'll do a rivalry. Why not? And then we'll let some time go by because, you know, now they have a truce. We'll have to wait about 12 months and then I'll be back. Alright, so the time has passed, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, we're going to say, hey, let's launch a leadership play. Do that. Let a little bit of time go by. And then we'll say, up. Come over here. And we'll say, give in. Observe. And voila, we have a North German Federation. And by this point, I'm going to save again because I did just crash. I'm going to save one more time. And then voila. Look at that. Let's be honest, guys. How often do you actually see the AI do any of this? Never. I very rarely see North German Federation form about 1850, give or take. Very rarely. If I do see them form, they're usually missing random parts. Yugoslavia never forms. Romania never forms, ever. Italy, even I think the AI literally gets forced events, and it still very rarely forms. If it does, it's like 1888, and it's like, dude, what is the point? So, now, I know there's like the whole, well, okay, like historical form dates and all that. I don't care. It's a game. I want them at the start. Alright? I want fake stuff. How often does the AI fix any of their laws? Never. Russia always keeps their terrible laws. I barely changed like 3 things. And look at this. They're already more literate. Their GDP is already much better than usual. I mean, look at this. Also, I may have made Tokugawa a little bit too strong. I may have made anime land a little bit too strong, but it's okay because I think Germany and Russia will balance it out. So, but anyway, I'm just saying, guys. Like, how often does AI ever actually fix anything or do anything in this game? Anyways, back to what I was doing. All right, guys. As you can see, we have got a Deutschland. Literally the only thing I did for this was I just did fast research, and then I got pan-nationalism, and then I that's it. That's all I did. And I just did, I went, like the journal entry and said, form Germany, go after France. Took this, and then that's it. Done. Easy. So, by the way, that is part of why you want to increase relations with, like, Bavaria, Württemberg, Baden, and all that, so that way that they're on your side and they agree to it. Otherwise, you're just going to have missing parts of Germany again, or you're going to have to, like, have them fight both. So, alright. Anyway, so now we have a Deutschland. We have a Klein Deutschland. So, that's nice. So yeah, I mean, look, already we have 2 countries that literally never form in this game already. And then a few extras that, definitely didn't form this early. But, isn't everything just working out so nicely? Alright, guys, I'm back again. I've done a little extra. I've decided to give Germany a little bit of colonies. I've gave them Shandong and a treaty port in China, and I've also gave them Zanzibar, which they will hopefully expand from. So they will be a nice little contender on the world stage. Britain, even on low settings, has already decided to partition Dynam, which is incredible. But, yeah. Russia needs to grab more of China, but I will work on that in a momento. Alright, guys, I'm back again. So as you can see, I managed to give Russia their little bit of Chinese territory. I also gave them Port Arthur, because why not? Oh, wow, it actually says Port Arthur. That's cool. Does Germany? Qingdao. Oh, yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's... You know what? That's pretty cool. I didn't know if you did the actual right treaty ports, it would do that. Alright, that's cool. I like that. Anyway, also Japan apparently did accomplish their thing. So that's nice. That's amazing. And they're also integrating Tokugawa, which is nice. So now Japan is a legitimate competitor. Okay, of course. I'm going to ignore that. That's not good. Anyway. But yeah, Japan seems to be doing pretty solid right now. They're doing nice. They actually got their little... thing past their great power. They're building up. Everything's going swell. Germany's doing nice. Italy's doing good. Everyone's having a wonderful little time. So, I'm just gonna let the game run for a bit. There's not a lot I want to change. You know what? I guess, here. Alright, guys. I am back. As you can see, a little bit has changed. France has Morocco. Well, I mean, that's kind of it. Yeah, not too much has changed. A little bit, but not too much. Greece has their territory. I decided to give them their stuff. Whether or not they hold it is questionable. I also went ahead and gave Egypt to Britain just to make it a little more historical. I've also went ahead and done the Suez Canal. Usually, I would probably just give it to Britain, but with the way this game works, it's better just to just let Egypt have it. It's seriously, it's never gonna get filled or done properly if you just. It's better just to give it to Egypt. So now this creates a new little trade route, and it also allows for the great powers and whatnot over here to go over here, and also allows for Japan to go over here. So yeah, so this is actually pretty good for trade and all that other good stuff. So, and also I can set Egypt when it actually gets filled up. I can set them up with a Suez Company. And luckily, they have more than enough people to fill it up. Also, they are losing a ton of money, so this is kind of important. So we can come on over here and give me a moment. Anyway, I went ahead and did that, so that's all set up now. They had way too many administrative buildings, so I toned that up a little bit. But now the Suez here, which is the most important part. The Panama is also kind of important, but I would argue that it's not as important as the Suez, which is way more important. At least for what's in this game, what's going on over here. But this is also an important one that I'll probably do eventually. But for now, guys, I think I'm just gonna let the game run. I don't really feel like doing anything else with it, other than I do need to give this to France. Hello, everybody, I'm back. It's been a little bit. I don't know exactly how much. This game is incredibly slow, so it's still only 1863. I boosted Spain up a little bit, but Spain is truly a monster to try to work on. I did the best I could. Their puppets own like 90% of their GDP. It took forever just to get to Madrid to 23. But you know, this one's doing good too. So I boosted them a little bit, but truth be told, I don't think they'll compete with any of the other major powers in the region. Not even close. But you know what? One can dream. One can dream that Spain will be a contender again. Other than that, not too much has changed. I've really only worked on Spain. Japan's still hanging out, doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the GDP for right now. So the GDP, obviously India, and then Japan, and then China. So Japan is doing absolute beast behavior. I may have boosted them just a little bit too much. But that's the problem. I feel like with Japan's one of those countries that it's like, for the AI, it barely becomes like recognized, if that, and then it never really fully does anything. Because the AI just offers investment rights, and so Japan never owns any of its own economy. It just gets kind of messed up. But, you know, but yeah, now I've fixed it. Now it's just, it's too strong. And then obviously Britain follows that. And then Russia, you know, I'm not going to lie. Usually, especially later in the game, Russia tips off quite a lot for its size, GDP-wise. It never does that well. But just changing one or two laws, as you guys saw, and it's already at 100 million. It's a beast. France, pretty standard, I would say. I don't think it's too different. America, standard-ish. I think it's doing a little better than usual because I managed to get it the Oregon Treaty and then Alaska as well. I also prevented the Civil War. I say prevented. It happened. I just, you know, immediately capitulated. But anyway, Germany doing pretty nice. Not as good as I thought they would be. But, I don't know. Maybe as they get colonies, they've already made Germany East Africa, and it's going to colonize incredibly slowly. Okay. Great. Anyway. So, yeah. After that, it would be Italia, España, Austria, Ottoman, Egypt, Scandinavia, Mexico, that place, Mexico, Yugoslavia, Romania, Korea, and then, you know, it kind of switches out. Gotta say, Austria's doing, considering they haven't lost Hungary, they're doing a little worse than I thought they would. I mean, really, they only lost a little bit. They lost Venetia and Lombardia, and then they lost their, like, Balkan territory that, you know, so it's kind of surprising they're still doing this bad. But, yeah. Also, for Ottomans, I got rid of this, this one that, okay, well, I thought I did. Whatever. Okay. It's not as bad as the other one, so I thought I completely got rid of it, but I guess not. Anyway, so Ottomans should do a little better. I also flipped this to public schools, so maybe that'll help a little bit. Maybe. Questionable, because it's the Ottomans, but we'll see. You know, obviously the Suez is still here. I think maybe eventually by like 1870, I'm going to go take the Suez Canal for America. So that way we'll have both. But yeah, everything's rocking up. I guess Hawaii is a British protectorate, which is interesting. The Dutch East Indies have fully collapsed, apparently. Incredible. I thought about forming Ethiopia, but I'm lazy, so I don't want to do that. Other than that, I think we're rocking. Honestly, I'm tempted just to leave everything like this. Because anything like us setting up like protectorates and stuff here and all this, that, there, it's kind of like all micromanaged stuff that I don't feel like doing. I think if I do anything, I think I might just go ahead and give Korea to Japan. But I don't know if I want to do that because Japan is already a monster. Do I give Korea to Japan? You know what? I'm not going to give Korea to Japan. Japan's already a beast. I'm going to leave it alone. So I'm going to let this play. And I'm actually going to record it too. And I'm just going to walk away and go do something else. And I'll let you guys watch this. And I'll let you watch it at like 2 times speed. Because this is running at a turtle's pace for me. So I'll be back and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. I am back. Oh, goodness. What has happened? What has happened? Okay, so I think it's literally only been about 10 years. This game runs... I've been gone for about an hour. This game runs incredibly slow. Oh, goodness me. I wonder if I should just let it go till 1880. Here, I'll let it play while I'm looking around just to, you know, let it do. So, China and India both have clearly exploded. Russia took a nice little chunk out of Manchuria. Empire of Korea. So, Korea managed to do that. Still unrecognized. More of this has been partitioned. This is French. See, other than that, Germany expanded a little bit more. Not really, kind of. French. Not a lot has changed. It's been about 10 years. Not a ton has changed. I wonder if I should let it go for about another 10 years. Should I let it go for another 10 years? Oh, they just took another chunk. Okay. Heavenly Kingdom. Okay. Tibet's in a predicament. Let's check the GDP real quick. I'm curious. So, pausing, it would be the Empire of Japan. Dude, this is like Japan in like the 80s, dude. They were... Holy crap, dude. These people are a beast. Okay. Russia follows suit with Britain, India. Okay, that India. Okay. And then France, and then the United States of America. And then the Heavenly Kingdom. And then Germany, Italy, Spain. Ah, okay. So maybe I boosted Spain more than I thought. They're doing better now. Ottoman Empire, United Netherlands, Egypt, Austria, Scandinavia, Mexico, and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really matter. So, in terms of order of great powers, we have Japan, Britain, France, USA, Rusland, Italy, Germany, India, Spain, Turkey, and then that's it. Or Ottoman, sorry. I shouldn't say Turkey. My bad. Anyways, here, let's check out the global GDP. Actually, I should probably do this. So, let's see. All Japan, India, Japan again, India. Well, not India, but it's, you know, that or sub-region, whatever. Japan, China, Italy, Japan, Britain. Wow, so Japan is scary. Wow. Okay, population, I'm assuming this is probably literally no different than it was last time. Yeah, this doesn't really change that much. Okay, well, how about, let's check out culture. Maybe this has changed a little. I kind of know the base game. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. My bad. I don't think much has changed. I think it's pretty much the exact same. Yeah, pretty much the exact same. Other than there's a lot of Greeks in America. It's kind of funny. Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe a little more Germans, a little more Italians here and there. Like in areas that are kind of split, like kind of 50-50, the area that owns it, if they're like, so like this is Romanian. This is like, so this gets like flipped more, like Dobruja, and gets flipped more to be Romanian. But for the most part, I don't think it's changed too terribly much. What about the religions overview? I don't even know why I checked this. This should not change at all. Well, this is Orthodox. This has become more Sunni. This has become more Catholic Orthodox. Sunni's gone down there. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's changed a little bit. And, this is more Protestant down here. It's changed a little. Not a ton. And when I say a little, I do mean just a little bit. Not very much. Okay, and we'll check. All right, last one I think we're going to check. We're going to check out. Here, let's check out the strategic regions. What region is worth the most? Okay, self-explanatory. Japan, China, England, Italy. This never happens. Never happens, base game. Italy is always way lower. Rhine. I think this is higher than normal. Probably because of United Netherlands and Germany. Iberia's doing a little better than usual. Bengal, yeah, pretty standard. France, yeah, standard. Russia, standard-ish. I think Russia's doing better. Yeah, most of these look interesting. Is there any ones that are crazy? The Nile's a little weird. I feel like it's a little higher than usual. Balkans, not bad. Not bad. I wonder if Panama, did it ever get built? Well, Russia, or not Russia, America owns the land for it, but they never built it. That happens a lot. Okay, not bad. Interesting. I see. What else do we got to check out? Oh yeah, what about the power blocks? Do we have any weird power blocks going on? Not really. Military treaty. Dude, why does the AI, when they make power blocks, why is it always a military treaty? Why does America keep doing a cultural commonwealth? Okay, well, other than that, not too much has changed in those. I mean, the rest are just, like, defaults. The AI picks some of the worst stuff, so... Anyway, okay, let's see, let's see, what else? I think that's it, other than we just have markets and market areas, but I think market areas and markets are pretty much the exact same. Kinda. So, here, let's check out the world market. Let's see what's going on over here. Participants. Obviously, the biggest importers and exporters are going to be just kind of the greater powers, but interestingly, Japan is only the third largest importer, but they are the first largest exporter. And then followed by, it's actually, after that, it's completely different. Britain is the first largest importer. Russia is the second, which is kind of weird. And then exporter would be France and India. In terms of efficiency, France is doing the best with India, Scandinavia, Spain, America, Ottomans. These guys are all doing pretty nicely. They're doing pretty good, top 6. So, not bad, not bad. And then exporters, as we can see, after France, it would be Scandinavia and Russia for the top 5. With, not too much lower. That's exports. So if we were to do by imports, top 5 would be Taiping and then Germany, which is interesting. So interesting little thing we got going on. Let me know, by the way, for people who, check their stuff a lot, by like this date, about like, just right at 1880. We're about a year and a half off. Is this better than usual? Has the AI done better? I mean, GDP-wise, let's see. This is the one that I haven't really checked too much into. I mean, I think Russia definitely has done a lot better. Japan just being on here is incredible. This is, like, literally insane. Japan is never, ever even on here. And if they are, they're usually, like, number 9 or 10. So, I think overall, there's definitely more 100 millions. I don't usually, when I play this game, I don't usually see this many 100 millions. I definitely think there's more 100 millions than normal. Other than that, literacy, I guess that would be a good one to check too. Russia is a lot more green than usual. Turkey feels a little more green than normal. Egypt is definitely green. Greece is a little nice. Romania, Yugoslavia, Italy, Spain is amazing. Japan is doing pretty nice. So yeah, other than like China, India, Persia, Africa. I mean, Ireland, because they're not incorporated in Poland. Corsica also. Goodness me, a few outliers, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think for the most part, pretty interesting little world we got going on here. Population, like I said, doesn't really change too terribly much. Literacy. What about standard of living? Might as well. Okay, Krakow, that's Austria. Egypt is kind of surprising. Canada, yeah. Japan would be the biggest independent country. They would be the best independent. Followed by, I think the Dutch are independent, and then Britain, and then, yeah. And then Romania, which, are you independent? They're part of Russia, and they're part of Ruska Imperia, but I don't think they're, yeah, they're not a puppet, and there's no market unification, so that is technically independent. What about the Dutch? Yeah, and then the Dutch are also just independent. So, yeah, not bad. Interesting little world we got. Yeah, wow, I'm impressed. Few glaring issues, namely the AI sucks at colonization. They just don't do it properly. They formed this too early, and like with the way it works in this game, it goes so slow. It is so slow. So, pretty bad. The India DLC is still terrible because India just explodes every single time. China, I think China's, yeah, it's pretty standard. Yeah, it's pretty normal to explode. That's pretty normal. One thing I wish they would fix, I wish when China exploded or had like a civil war or something, I wish they would stop making it to where this is no longer a treaty port. Because this happens to me in my games. These are no longer treaty ports when like countries explode. They just become actual states, which is so annoying. I don't know who agreed to that at Paradox, but bro, you need to be fired. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know anything about game development. Alaska, Oregon, nice, beautiful country. Beautiful country. Look at these coins. I want one. Anyway, I think that's the end of this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, and if you didn't enjoy, I don't care. But anyways, leave me comments below for suggestions on games or things you may want me to do or not do, or things you like and didn't like. And, yeah, it's good seeing you all. Adios.